Welcome to the channel, and if this is your first time coming across this channel, do well to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the post notification. On this channel, we'll discuss everything relating to smart money trading and to keep you stay profitable in the financial market. In today's topic, we'll be looking at the candlestick order block. And in simple terms, we'll be looking at the particular candlestick to actually pick when marking your order block and why you should pick that particular candlestick. So we'll be looking at three different types of candlestick order block formation. The first one we'll be looking at is liquidity sweep candlestick. Second one, relative equal lows or highs candlestick. We're looking at what? Candle wicks or candlesticks with smaller bodies. So we'll be looking at all of those candlestick formation. So stay with me while I get to put you throughout this process. So let's go. Here we are on Euro USD 1 hour time frame, and first we'll be looking at this first example we have here. This is the first example we'll be looking at. So let's first of all look at the chart pattern we have here. So we can see that we have a major low at this point. This is a major low we have here. And price coming to break this low, this gives us a change of character. It gives us a change of character to the downside. So if you are presented with this type of order block, this is the first scenario. And in this one, we are looking at what? The candlestick sweep. The candlestick sweep pattern. So this on this candlestick, what do you notice here? So on this candlestick here, we have this buy candle to the upside, and we have this sell candle to the downside. And if you look at this candlestick, you can see we have this is the candlestick that swept liquidity above this high. Let's get to mark this. So if you look at this here, okay, so looking at this, you can see this candle actually swept liquidity above this. So if you have to mark our order block, I know most persons already have this idea of marking the last buy candle or the last sell candle, but in this particular scenario, I'm going to actually put you through the best way to actually mark the exact and correct order block. So now we have, this is scenario 1 here, and in this scenario 1, we've already seen that the sell candle actually took out the liquidity above the buy candle. So this is what we're going to do now. Pick our order block. So indeed, we are going to actually look at only the buy candle that actually took out the liquidity, the previous liquidity, then pull to the right hand side. If you pull this to the right hand side, you can see we have our inducement level at this point, and price return back to that order block, and immediately price taps into this order block. You can see price continue to the downside. And how are you going to be able to actually tell this? From practicing your order block. So this is the right way to actually mark that candlestick or that order block when you have a sweep of previous low or previous high. So you mark the last candle that actually swept the liquidity. Is very, very important. You have to mark the last candle that swept the liquidity. Let's look at another example. Alright, so here we're still on Euro USD 1 hour time frame, and I still want to show another example having the liquidity sweep candlestick pattern, so you get to really understand what I mean by liquidity candlestick pattern, or the candlestick that actually took out the last liquidity. So if you look at this example, this is the second example on this same pattern. So pulling this way, you can see we had a sweep, and which candle actually gave us this liquidity sweep. You see, this is the candle we have here. This is the candle we have, and this is a buy candle to the upside. So this is what we're going to do in this case. Mark a candle from the top to the last wick of that candlestick. So this is what we have, and we pull the chart to the right hand side. If we should pull this, this is what we have. And what can you see? Immediately price dropped into this level. You can see there was an expansion to the upside. So at this point here, we have a change of character. At this point, yes, a change of character. And if we were to look at this price movement to the upside, where is our order block? And this is where we have the type 2 pattern where I said something about what relative equal lows or relative equal highs. So when you have these relative equal lows or relative equal highs, looking at this point, you can still see that there is a slight sweep. The sell candle here actually took out the liquidity. So in this particular scenario, this will have been our order block. This is our order block. This is our order block. So next time you actually want to mark your order block, please do it to actually what come back to this video, look at what was actually what pointed or stated out for you to actually what mark that exact order block you are looking at for to take your trade next time. So the next one we'll be looking at is equal lows or equal highs candlestick patterns, and that will be the second one. And after that, we'll go to the third one. Stay tuned, and if you're still watching till this point, do well to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the post notification. Let's go to the second example now. Here we are on the example 2, and we'll be using GBP USD for this particular example. This is for relative equal lows or relative equal highs candlestick formation for picking our order blocks. So let's get to analyze this GU trade or this GU chart. So we get to actually pick out that example or those examples from this particular chart. So here we have, this is GU chart. So let's get to mark this chart from this point. So at this point, at this level here, this was the last push to the downside we had. So the downside here, followed by what? We had this low, this point. Price gave us this high. This was where we had a change of character at this level. Having that change of character, we can see that all of these points has been mitigated, and this was the point we had to look at for. So let's get to zoom this in. So if we get to zoom this in, this is the second form of order block. So if you look at this one, you can see that both candles are of the same levels, same level. So if you look at this, you can see both of them are of the same level. So when you have this type of order block, what do? I always prefer you go with the momentum candle. Very, very important. It's advisable you always go with the momentum candlestick, because a lot of times if you get to go on to mark this, price may fail to get to that other block. So it's always advisable that you work with the momentum candlestick. You can do it to also backtest what I've just explained in this video. Go back and backtest on your charts too. So this is our other block here, following the momentum candlestick. This is the other block we have to go on with. So this is our other block here. So you can see what price came back, tap this zone and move to the upside. We have our liquidity present at this point, and that is what validates this other block. Let's get to look at the next one. So looking at GU to the upside, where is our next point of interest we should be looking at for price for? We have a similar example from what we just explained in the second case scenario from this one here, where we have equal candlestick pattern. So looking at this, we have a smaller candlestick and we have a bigger candlestick. This one is bigger compared to this one. So in this particular case, we'll be working with what this sell candlestick here. So this is our other block. I don't know if you're actually getting what I'm explaining. So this is our other block. So we want to see this price drop from this supply level down to this point, and we should be looking at for possible buys to the upside. So comfort, we'll be looking for this price action. This is what we want to see on GU. Except this other block fails, then we'll look for sell confirmation to the downside. So we'll be able to actually look at for the second example. This is the first example and this is the second example, using the type 2 candlestick formation for picking the right order block. So the next order block we'll be looking at for is scenario 3 pattern. That's where you have a candle wick or a smaller body candle formation. So let's get to look at the scenario 3 formation now. Okay, so this is the third example we'll be working with, and in this particular example I'll be making use of the BTC analysis we made use of during our weekly live section on this channel. So if you want to be active or actively joining us during our live section, we go live every Monday to look at the overall directional bias for a new week every Monday by 7 a.m. So do well to turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on any of our live streams or videos on this channel. So I'll be using this example. I'm going to take out everything on this chart, then I'm going to explain this chart, the cells, and everything we need to explain on this particular chart using the second example, using a candle wick formation to actually pick out a valid order block. So this is what we have. Let me take this off now. All right, so this is example 3, and we'll be using a candle wick in this particular one because a lot of people don't actually understand how to actually pick their candlestick when they have candle wicks, and they end up making some mistakes. So we'll be using this particular chart from one of the live streams we had within this week, I think 2 weeks back, to actually look at this particular chart formation. Okay, so here on this chart, a lot of persons will be marking this as their order block, this candlestick here as their order block, but this is the right candlestick here. This is the candlestick we have to mark. All right, so this is the candlestick, and if you pull this to this side, you can see immediately price tapped into this level. You can see a reaction to the downside, and I'm going to give you the second example still using this same BTC chart. If you look at this level at this point here, after this price moved to the upside, price gave us a confirmation to the downside. This tells us that price is indeed bearish to the downside. So let's get to delete this supply here. Price giving us this change of character to the downside. What do you think is the next thing to do? We have this candle wick, you have this strong buy, and you have the candle wick, you have another candle wick, then you have this strong impulsive move to the downside. So in this scenario, what do you want to pick, or what are we picking as our order block or candlestick order block? So this is what we have to do. If you look at this point here, this candle actually swept liquidity, so this is what we want to use, cover that order block entirely. So this is what we have as our supply. Okay, so perfect. So this is a perfect zone to actually look at for. So what was another thing we need to actually take into consideration to actually validate that this zone is valid for us to actually take a trade? You can see we had this liquidity build up at this point. We have all of this as our internal liquidity given to us at this level. We have our fair value gap. We can see presence of momentum to the downside, and immediately price tapped into this level, you can see the drop to the downside. So next time you want to mark the other block, do it to actually make sure you've actually back test all of these samples I've given, so you'll be able to actually understand why you're picking that candlestick and why you have to pick that candlestick, why you're picking that zone, and why you think that zone is actually valid. And if you've actually enjoyed this video or watched to this point, please let me know in the comment section where you're watching from, and if this video was helpful, let me also know in the comment section. And if this is your first time actually coming across my video, do well to let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to give you a special shout out too. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.